G'day folks, what is going on? It's Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. I'm coming at you on a Monday afternoon here. I actually had a bit of a different morning this morning. I decided to take a bit of time off and sit and read a book instead of jumping into the day. This is one that I ordered and arrived last week, and I didn't have a chance to jump into it yet. We were flat out with a bunch of different projects. This is a new book from a guy that I've consumed a lot of his content very, very recently. Alex Hormozi. He's got an awesome YouTube channel that I would recommend that you check out. And he just put out this book called $100 Million Offers, How to Make Offers So Good People Feel Stupid Saying No. This is an area that's particularly close to my heart. It's something that I've put a lot of time and money and effort into studying and into learning. And it's something that I work on with my clients and my inner circle members as well, because that's what we do is help people with their offer creation, particularly information products. So when someone of Alex's credentials and results and success comes out with a book on this particular topic, it was something that I needed to grab and set aside the time to read, and I'll be reading it multiple times over. But what I wanted to do while it's fresh in my mind, and I literally just finished reading it, I took some notes, is just give my initial thoughts for anyone that might be interested, that stumbles across this video. So I'm going to give you some thoughts on it from someone who's in the offer creation game and does this day in, day out. Some of the key things that I took away from it that you might want to keep front of mind as you're reading through this, and I would highly recommend that you grab it. I don't think he's charging much for it. If anything, it cost me a little bit more to get it because I had to get it shipped out to Australia. Just get your hands on it. If you're in the game of creating offers at all, be that products or services, physical or digital products, I think you'll get a ton of value out of it. Go check out Alex's YouTube channel. It's on the rise. It's blowing up. I would highly recommend that you do that. But I just wanted to share my thoughts on the book as well. Before we jump into that, if you haven't already and you're interested in information on this type of topic, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like if you get any value from it. Click the bell icon so you get notified whenever I drop a new video. Roll the intro real quick and we'll jump into this one. Alrighty, so let's jump into it. The first thing, I've got some notes here, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. I wanted to cover off a few like high-level takeaways that really jumped out to me as I was reading the book. We'll start with those, and then we'll get a little bit kind of deeper and more specific. I really like that he's building a series of these. So you can see up here it says volume 1. I really like that he started with offer creation. In the programs that I run, we start there as well, right? We work on some mindset stuff, but we dive really quickly into offer creation. And that's both where I'm helping people craft their own offers, but also the affiliate marketing stuff that I do in the Super Affiliate Accelerator program is we start with offer creation. Because if you don't have an offer, or you don't have a good offer, or you don't know how to craft an offer, everything else becomes really difficult. The other thing that people don't appreciate, especially early on, is that if you have a killer offer, you can have other gaps in your business. You can have gaps in your sales process. You can have gaps in your content game. Obviously, it's good if everything's strong and everything's seamless and working together, but the offer, if it is on point, it can pick up a lot of slack, because the right offer to the right person at the right time can just be such a compelling proposition that it can really simplify everything else. So I think it's a brilliant place to start. I think with this new avenue that he's going down is such a cool place to start, and I can really resonate with that because that aligns to what we do as well. I think the other thing that's really cool with this, and if you're thinking about grabbing it, it's not just theory. It's got practical steps to follow. It's got a lot of real world examples, and honestly, I think this is something that with what I do is going to sit on my desk for quite a while. There was a lot of overlap as well to things that we have done, but just looking at things from a different perspective that have given me a ton of different ideas of things that I want to go out there and test. And then the other cool thing, just from a 30,000 foot overview, is that the book is bookended with this cool little story that just talks about how offers had such a massive impact for Alex and his wife and their business. So I just think it's a really awesome book. I've not seen a lot of books specifically on this topic. Delivered really well, will be very valuable to anyone that is in the business of creating their own offers, whatever that looks like from a product or a service perspective, okay? So with those kind of high level things out of the way, a couple of things that I wanted to mention more specifically that I would recommend that you pay attention to if you get your hands on this is really pay attention to the simplified strategy that he presents around finding a market or how to look at a market, the characteristics to look at if you're thinking about entering a market. I know a lot of beginners get really, really stuck on this part, and Alex talks about 4 really, really simple pillars that you can use as I guess, a point of analysis when considering if you enter a market. The first one is pain, and this is something that I talk about with my clients and students a ton, is what is the pain that you are solving? What is the pain that you are focusing in on? How is it present and how extreme is it right now? Because if there's not a present pain, it's really, really tricky to get people to move urgently. The second thing he talks about is, do people in the market have purchasing power, right? They might have a really burning pain, but if they've got zero capacity to spend money to solve that pain, it's not going to be a very, very good market to tackle. So those 2 things need to go hand in hand. There needs to be a pain that they're looking to solve, but they've also got to have money to spend in order to solve that problem. And then the third one is, can you target these people? Can you get in front of these people, right? With social media, that's easier than ever to do, either with paid marketing or organic marketing. You know, if you're going into a very, very obscure niche, you may run into troubles with that. So can you get in front of these people? You've got a problem, they've got money to spend to fix it, and then can you actually get in front of these people to say, hey, I've probably got a solution to that pain, and then present your offer or your value proposition to them. And then the final one is the market growing? I think this is a good point to mention, because even if you do everything right, if you enter a market that's declining, unless you somehow manage to carve out your own market and merge it with something else, your business is going to decline even if you're doing all of the right things. Whereas if you're in a market that's growing and you're doing all of the right things, then you've got those 2 aspects working kind of synergistically for you. Okay, so I would really, really pay attention to that, particularly for people reading this who might be earlier on in their journey or might be looking to tackle a new market. I think there's some fantastic advice in there around really practical and important things to look at, right? Above all else, do people have a pain? Are they willing and able to pay for a solution to fix that pain? Can you get in front of them? And at a more macro level, is that market growing or is it shrinking? Okay, they're very, very simple and very, very practical. I love the way that he has presented that. The next thing is encourages higher prices. And again, this is really congruent with the stuff that I do with my students. We focus on higher ticket stuff. For me, when I first started out as an affiliate with the guys over at ClickFunnels, I had a lot of success with them, but it was that then led me to finding high ticket affiliate marketing, which then went into creating my own high ticket info products. That was really, really a game changer, because then you're in the margin business instead of the volume business. So I just think it's really, really great advice. It helps businesses get cash flow coming in so that they're not under stress and pressure to be constantly selling all the time. They're able to provide a better experience for the people that are coming in because they've got more money to spend. They can reinvest that money into the growth of the business, into stabilizing the business, all of those kind of things. It just makes sense. And from a client perspective, the people are going to be more committed. They're going to be more likely to take action. They're going to be less of a pain in your ass. All of the positives that get spoken about a lot about higher versus lower ticket are reinforced in this, and I agree 100%. The other really cool thing that he covers is kind of breaking off your monopoly and a process to go through to create a product, an offer, a solution that isn't a commodity, right? It's something that people simply cannot put up next to something else, because of the way that you analyze what people's problems are, how you craft solutions, how you present those solutions. I'm not going to go into the detail on all that. I'll let you read the book to dive into it. But really pay attention to how he helps you move from a commodity like everybody else selling the same type of thing over to something that just can't be mirrored, right? It can't be copied. You're really, really building a moat around what you do, and a moat that is going to facilitate charging higher prices. That's just going to make everything a hell of a lot easier. And there's a full process covered in the book around this. Step 1, step 2, step 3, what to do here, how does this tie back, and how to bring it all together at the end. It's a very, very comprehensive process that I've not seen presented too well by many people in terms of how do you break off a chunk of a market and craft something that's truly unique to you so that you aren't a commodity and you can price at whatever you want. That is covered very, very well in this book. And then the usual aspects of crafting an offer that a lot of people talk about: How do you stack bonuses? Where do your bonuses come from? I like the distinction, how he explains what should be in the core product versus the bonuses, how to add scarcity, how to add urgency, and also the fact that they talk about strategies to do that on an evergreen basis, because not everybody wants to be launching all the time. I know I don't, but you still want to have ways to honestly and authentically integrate urgency and scarcity, which can be tricky with evergreen offers. So I think it's awesome that he's touched on strategies to do that. And then a big one, which gets underutilized, is risk reversal through your guarantees. The book doesn't say you have to do it this way. It presents a whole range of strategies for risk reversal, from having the most open-ended, basically zero risk guarantees for your consumer, all the way to having no guarantees at all, because it just shows you how to present those, right? And in my business, we've done the full spectrum. We've got products that have a no refund policy. We've got some products that do at the other end. And so it's cool to see, those bookends presented and then options along the way. And he really gets creative with the options that you've got in here and recommends how to use them at different price points. So I think that is covered incredibly, incredibly, incredibly well. And then the final thing that I wanted to touch on that I would recommend that you pay attention to, because it's the second person I've heard talk about it, and I'm guessing he talks about it because of hearing about it from Dan Kennedy, who talks about it in a lot of his books, is this concept of supply and demand. And there's some really cool stories and examples and stuff. One thing that I really like that I think is explained in this book very well is talking about the concept of keeping demand almost not completely fulfilled or unfulfilled, so that there's always an excess of demand to supply, because then the next time you roll something out, you're tapping into a source of demand that's already there, and you can keep growing it, right? And then you get people good results. That demand is just going to keep growing, and what you can do is actually ratchet back supply and keep increasing your prices, so that really you are always putting that steak onto a hot grill, always selling out your offers, you're always increasing your prices, which is creating a better experience on the back end for the people that buy. And then it's constantly creating this really, really hungry environment around your products and offers and services. So they're just some notes that I took out of it. I would highly recommend that you go pick up a copy of the book. Check out his YouTube channel as well. There's some great stuff there. He's a dude with a ton of experience, coming from someone who's in the weeds doing this stuff every day and crafting offers. I can't recommend it enough. So cheers to Alex on creating an amazing resource for service providers, product creators. It's a fantastic, fantastic first volume, and I really, really look forward to seeing the rest of it. Let me know if you got any questions, comments, want to discuss any of the stuff in this below. I'll be happy to get back to you throughout the week, and I'll see you all in the next video. Go grab a copy of this right now, and I know you will enjoy it. Cheers.